Sup everyone, this is Elijah from the Rideshare Guy. In this video, we're actually going to be covering a DoorDash shopper tutorial. Consider this a part 2 to the food delivery tutorial that we did a few weeks ago. As some of you may know, DoorDash now offers the ability for you to make money by taking shopping orders. This is different from just going to the store and picking up items like we covered in the food delivery tutorial. No, this requires you to actually go in the store, pick out individual items, put them in the basket, complete a shopping experience, pay for it and check out using DoorDash's red card, and then deliver those groceries to the customer. Overall, this is going to be a different experience from normal food delivery, which is why we're covering this in its own video. And don't worry, just like the first food delivery tutorial, we're going to be showing you all this visually on the screen. So start off by opening the DoorDash app up and let's get started. The first thing that you'll need to do is to make sure that you're actually eligible to receive shopping orders on DoorDash. In order to do this, you need to press a button in the preferences screen. So click on the button in the top left hand corner, which is the bars, and then click on preferences. Once here, you'll see where it says shop and deliver. You'll need to toggle that on, but before you can do so, you need to click on activate red card. Once here, you'll have the option to order a physical red card or add a digital red card to Google Pay or sometimes Apple Pay. As long as your phone has the NFC capability to pay via phone by making physical contact with a payment processor, most people are going to go ahead and choose the digital option. If you want to use the digital option, click on Add to GPay, then click on Add to Wallet. Next, you'll need to make sure that your phone's NFC is turned on. So just click on Turn on NFC and that'll change your phone settings to turn that function on. After this, your virtual DoorDash red card will be available to use. If you choose to have a physical card sent to you, keep in mind that can take 7 to 10 business days. It really just depends on the dynamics of what's going on with DoorDash at that time. From here, you just go online and you'll start receiving shopping delivery requests. This is what a shopping order looks like. The interesting thing about a shopping order is you'll know whether you need the red card or not, because in most cases, DoorDash will tell you if you need the red card. Click on accept if you want to accept the order, or if you don't want it, click decline in the top right hand corner. Once you've accepted the order, go ahead and start navigating to the pickup location or the store. Once you have arrived, click on arrived at store. Once you have done this, DoorDash will let you know exactly what type of shopping experience this is going to be. There are 3 types of shopping scenarios that you're going to encounter that we're going to get into a little later in this video, but for the sake of going on and continuing right now, this is a scenario where you'll need to pay using a QR code. Click on Start Shopping, and as a quick tip, only click on Start Shopping once you've actually parked and entered the store. Once you've entered the store, click on Start Shopping. Once you've started shopping, you will then be taken to this screen where you can see all the items that the customer has ordered. The objective here is to get 100% of the items if possible, or as close to 100% if you can. Obviously, the store may be out of some things, but we want to avoid replacements or avoid refunds because it makes for a bad customer experience. Obviously, sometimes it can't be helped. In particular, you want to avoid refunds because oftentimes customers tip using the percentage system on these apps. And if you're giving refunds because you can't find items, that means that what you saw offered at the beginning of the screen may not be what you end up getting paid because the total amount that the customer is paying has been reduced, and that means your tip's been reduced. So we saw this order was paying $9.75. If I couldn't find something and I had to refund the customer, then it may drop to like $8.20. And obviously we don't want that. Some key things to note about this screen is DoorDash will let you know exactly what section the item is supposed to be in. So as you can see, these areas are located in the produce section, so that's where I'm going to head. Once you've found the item, just click on it and then click on Scan Item Barcode. You'll then need to scan the barcode using your phone. And once you've scanned the barcode, the item will be moved to the Done section. From there, you can move on to the next item. If the item that you just scanned doesn't have a location on file for DoorDash, DoorDash may ask if you can take a photo of the location to help future dashers in future dashes. It's up to you whether you want to do that or not, but if you do, you just click on take photo and take a picture of the location. If you go into an item location and you just can't find it, you can click on item unavailable. From there, DoorDash will pop up this screen saying that it might be in a second location, and it will give you some suggestions. If you just can't find the item period, you can click on can't find item location. From there, DoorDash will let you know what to do next based on the customer's preferences. The customer may have something that they don't mind getting in its place. In that case, DoorDash will redirect you to get another item, or the customer will be refunded for the item. If you found where the item is supposed to be, but you see that the store is actually out, you can click on Found Empty Shelf. DoorDash will then ask you if you can take a photo of the item's shelf tag and it being empty. This will be provided to the customer to show that the store was actually out and that it's not just that you couldn't find it, which will help you in your rating section, which we'll go over later in this video. Just a piece of advice, I would actually ask a staff member to help me find the item before I click can't find item location, because every item has a location. At the very least, if I can't find it, I want to take a picture of that empty shelf as proof that I couldn't find it because of the reasons that I've already provided. Once you've found all the items, go ahead and click on Proceed to Checkout. From here, you're going to encounter one of 3 different shopping scenarios when it comes to checkout. Let's go over them now. The first scenario that you encounter is the pay using QR code or barcode. That means that you won't actually have to use a red card for this order. You'll just scan the QR code at the self-checkout, or the customer clerk will pull up a QR code and scan it themselves, and they'll log it as a DoorDash order. Once you arrive at the checkout location, click on Load the QR code, and the QR code will appear on the screen. Scan it, and the order will officially be paid for. From here, you'll be asked to take a picture of the receipt, and this is important. You want to make sure you take a picture of that receipt and keep the receipt for this scenario. It's important that you don't put the receipt in the bag. The second shopping scenario that you'll encounter is a scenario where you will need your DoorDash red card. If you don't have one, you can click on I don't have a DoorDash red card, and depending on the scenario, DoorDash may just reassign the order because you need the red card to continue with the order, or it may move you into the third shopping scenario, which we're going to talk about after this. Assuming you have the red card though, click on Start Shopping. Go ahead and scan your items like we already covered, and then you'll arrive at the checkout. Once you're at the checkout, what you do next depends on if you have a physical or digital red card. If you have a physical red card, you're going to pay for it using your red card, and then you're going to click on Confirm Payment and follow the instructions on the screen. Choose credit when paying with physical card. If asked for the PIN number, enter 0000, and once you've done this, click on Confirm Payment. If you have the digital red card, which most people will have a digital one at this time on their phone, click on Open Digital Red Card. Wherever you save the DoorDash red card will begin to open up. Usually that's going to be Google Pay or Apple Pay. You just follow the steps that you use to pay digitally with your phone, which is to enable NFC mode, and put your phone against the appropriate place so it can read the data on the card. If you need help with this, just ask the store clerk. They can walk you through the process. Once the order is paid for, take a picture of the receipt. And for this scenario, you want to make sure that the receipt is actually in the bag, because if something is wrong, then the customer has the option to go back to the store and exchange items because they have the receipt. The last scenario does not involve a red card, but it requires you to scan a barcode once you go check out. You shop for your items like we've already shown, and then you'll find yourself at checkout. For this scenario, you tell the cashier that this is a DoorDash shopping order and that you have a barcode for them to scan. They'll set up on their end to be able to scan your barcode. Once they scan your barcode, you want to click on Barcode was scanned. If for some reason they can't scan the barcode, you click on Can't Scan Barcode, and DoorDash will give you further instructions on what to do next. Every now and then, DoorDash will tell you that sometimes it may require 2 scans. If that's the case, just let the cashier know and they can scan again. After this, the cashier will begin scanning the items, and once they finish scanning, click on Transaction has completed. Keep in mind that these 2 steps can be switched because I've encountered both scenarios. Sometimes they'll scan the items first and then scan the barcode, or sometimes they'll scan the barcode first and then scan the items. Don't make a big deal out of it, just be aware that sometimes the order of these can be flipped. Once the transaction has completed, click on Confirm, And for this scenario, the cashier actually keeps the receipt for their records, so you're not going to get a receipt for this. So don't be alarmed if they tell you that you're not going to keep the receipt, because in this scenario, you're not supposed to. The store keeps it for their records. That covers the 3 shopping scenarios that you'll encounter when shopping with DoorDash. As a quick note, if you do have anything that has alcohol in it, you will have this pop up on your screen, just letting you know how you'll need to handle alcohol orders. It's also important to note that if the items have alcohol in it, you will need your ID in order to complete the transaction. If you don't, you won't be able to. So if that's going to be some kind of barrier, you shouldn't take orders that are going to have alcohol in them, or you'll need to reassign them. From here, go ahead and load the items up in your car, and you'll be directed to go ahead and start navigating to the drop-off location. The experience as a shopper from here is nearly identical to dropping off food with DoorDash. You'll want to go ahead and click the directions button and navigate to the drop-off location. Once you've arrived at the drop-off location, just like food delivery, you encounter one of 3 scenarios when it comes to dropping off food. DoorDash will let you know whether the customer wants to meet you outside somewhere, or if they want you to hand them the groceries, or if they want you to leave them at the door. We're not going to cover all those scenarios because we covered them in the last DoorDash app tutorial when we talked about food delivery. So if you want to see those different scenarios play out, we recommend that you check out part 1 of this series that will be linked in the description. Once you've arrived at the customer drop-off location, click on I've arrived at reciprocant. You'll then need to take the items or groceries up to the customer unless they want you to meet them outside. For this example, we have the leave at door option, so that's what we're going to be following. Once you have left the customer's groceries at the door, click on Complete Delivery Steps. You'll be asked to take a picture of the drop-off location. Click on Take Photo, and this will pop up basically telling you the guidelines for taking photos with DoorDash shopping. But the basic gist of this is, if it's possible, be sure to capture the customer's actual address in the photo, because that's proof that you delivered it to that address. So to like 4467 or like whatever the number address is, if possible. Sometimes it's not possible, but if it is, try your best to capture it in the photo. Once you've taken the photo, click on Complete Delivery, and then that shopping order will be finished and you'll see your payment. Quick side note, if you are delivering alcohol, you will be required to scan the customer's ID to prove that they're the appropriate age to be ordering the alcohol. We've covered this in part 1 of the tutorial, so you want to check that out if you want to see a visual demonstration on how to do that. Now that we've covered how to finish a shopping delivery, let's go ahead and briefly talk about the rating system when it comes to shopping. It is a little different from the food delivery ratings. You want to go to the DoorDash home screen and click on the bars in the top left-hand corner. From here, click on Ratings. And it will pull up your food delivery ratings, but at the bottom, it will have a shopping section. Click on that, and you'll see the ratings for shopping. We're not going to really go through all these because they actually are pretty self-explanatory on the screen. The main things that you really want to keep an eye on is going to be original items found and total items found. Original items means that the items that the customer wanted in the shopping experience, they ended up getting versus having to be replaced. And the total items found is your ability to find all the items that are listed in the item section, as opposed to not being able to find anything and saying that you couldn't find the item. Those are the 2 things that you really want to keep an eye on, because if they start to get too low, then that's when you risk getting in trouble with DoorDash and being removed from having the option to take shopping orders. As far as the shopper rewards, if you click on View Pro Shopper Rewards, I'll just read on the screen, Become a Pro Shopper, hit and maintain all 6 rating targets set for Pro Shoppers, and you'll secure a spot in front of the line for high-paying shopping orders or offers as soon as they become available. Compared to other shopping offers, they can pay up to 30% more, which is great. But that concludes the shopping rating section of this video. That covers our DoorDash Shopper tutorial. If you found value in this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. That greatly helps us out and is very much appreciated. And of course, don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And if you haven't seen part 1 of this series where we show how to complete a food delivery, you can check that video out that's on the screen right now. And of course, if you're new to DoorDash and you haven't signed up for it yet, click the link in the description to go ahead and sign up and get started. This has been Elijah with the Rideshare Guy. I'll catch you in the next video. Be safe and be profitable, everyone.